guests are world-famous magicians and the longest-running headliners in Las Vegas history. History. Their CW show, Penn and Teller, Fool Us, airs Friday nights at 8 p.m. Please welcome Penn and Teller. And good to see you.
I gotta say, I'm so glad you said the longest-running show in the history of Las Vegas.
In the history of
That way, we're competing with Sinatra and Elvis and winning.
Is that right?
We've run longer than anyone ever in Las Vegas.
You at the Rio, right?
Yeah.
For over 20 years?
Over 20 years, headliners all the time, yep.
That's
in the conveniently named Penn and Teller Theater.
Wow, that's well-deserved.
What are the chances of that?
Since we've had you on, you've always been there. You were even there before, by the way, in Vegas. You were there for 10 years before that?
Yeah. We've been there for 30 years.
Another record-breaking thing, your CW show, Penn and Teller Fool Us, was just renewed for a 10th season, making it the longest-running magic show in TV history.
There you go.
History, yet again.
History.
Las Vegas history, TV history. Sorry, I really put some oomph in there.
The downside of that means that we have written, like, I think, 150 magic tricks to close Fool Us. We've written a lot of magic.
Do people come up to you all the time and want to show you tricks?
Well, yeah, that's how Fool Us started. You know, Vegas is the magic capital of the world. Magicians would come to Vegas, come to our show. They'd go backstage and say, hey, have you seen this? And they would just look at Teller, and if he kind of went, oh, they'd go, oh, great, we fooled him. And if we went, that's it, they would go, no. So we kind of liked that backstage thing, and that's what Fool Us grew out of.
Yeah, and then how do you keep coming up with new tricks once you've seen it all? You go,
oh. What we've been doing lately is we'll go and take really old tricks, like wicked old, like Public Domain, and then working with those until they turn into something we think is new. So we're going to show you tonight the trick we started with. We'll teach you how to do that, then we'll show you the trick we ended up with. Okay?
That's what I'm talking about.
So the trick we started with is a trick called the donut on the ribbon trick, which is a rather prosaic name, but I didn't name it. You have your friend just, you can go over here, just thread a donut onto a ribbon, okay? Then you have them hold both ends. You can hold both ends like that. Like hold the ribbon where I am, and then hold it over here, right? Then you talk about how donuts have integrity. Not just ethically and morally, but also structurally.
Yeah, of course.
So you can't get the donut off there while you're holding both ends. Then you just put a napkin over like this, and then lo and behold, magically, you pull the donut off the ribbon. And so your friend can examine the donut. It's totally legit. It's righteous. They can examine the ribbon, which is totally legit, righteous. Nothing fishy about the props. And they can also examine the napkin, which has nothing unusual about it whatsoever. Now, you might want to do that at home, and if you want to, it's really simple. We're going to teach you the trick. There's no magic moves at all. First part, totally legit. You just thread the donut onto the ribbon, okay? And then you hold both ends like you did before. Now watch this. No magic moves, nothing. While you're talking about integrity, you cop a dupe. So you have a duplicate donut over here. It's under the napkin. No magic moves. Then you come over here, and then when you're under the napkin, we showed you another napkin, just rip it apart, and you hand them the duplicate. And then while they're examining this, you just eat the evidence. So you end up totally clean.
Brilliantly done.
So we looked at this trick, and we thought, what could we do to make this a new trick? And we thought the most important part of this is the shape of the donut. So what else has that shape? And the answer comes back, how about an inner tube? Essentially the same shape as a donut, also has the integrity, okay? Now we'll have Nathan Santucci come out here, and we're gonna thread the inner tube onto a rope. Now just, you can grab that side over there that Nathan has, okay? It's the same trick, right? You got one end, I got the other end, right? And then we got an inner tube on there. The audience understands everything about that, right? And then Teller comes out with the same napkin. Now, you know how the trick is done. Jimmy's got one end, I've got the other end, okay? You understand it's topologically impossible to get that off there. Same trick as the donut. Same trick as the donut. We're holding both ends. You're not letting go. Nothing fishy whatsoever. The rope is entirely intact.
Unbelievable.
And then you can also examine the inner tube, and it's totally intact. And that is the Penn and Teller inner tube trick.
Come on. That's how you do it. Penn and Teller, everybody. Penn and Teller. Fool Us airs Fridays at 8 p.m. on the CW. More Tonight Show after the break. Stick around, everybody. When we give the Heimlich.